Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the last two phases of a compiler design, that is code generation and assembly phase. So let's start with the phase code generation. So what is code generation phase? When I explained about the phases of compiler, we have seen that the actual translation of the source program into a machine code or the target code is happening in the code generation phase. So in the code generation phase, actual translation will be done in accordance with the physical register numbers depending upon the target architecture. So what is our target architecture and what all physical register numbers are available in that? By using that, the actual machine code will be generated in the code generation phase. So what is the input to the code generation phase? We know input to the code generation phase is the output of the code optimization phase, that is machine independent optimization. So we will be having intermediate form of our source program, that is the matrix form. It will be optimized in the code optimization phase. That optimized intermediate form of our source program, that is the matrix form, will be given as input to the code generation phase. And in the code generation phase, it will be generating object code for each entry in the matrix form. So what is the mechanism we are using to generate the object code in this code generation phase? For that, we are using a special database called productions table. Okay, so what is the use of productions table? Productions tables will be defining each type of matrix operation with the associated object code. You can see in the table here, this is the code production table. Here we can see on the right side a set of operations which are operators which are used in our matrix form, and the left side we can see the corresponding object code for each operator. So this is the code production table, this is the corresponding code production table which is defining our object code for each operator in the matrix. Okay, so here we have operators like subtraction, star, addition, equals, etc. Okay, so here this is the main database we are using in the code generation phase. In this particular code generation phase, we will be considering our production table, that is the one which is defining object code for each operator. That production table will be considering as the macro definitions, and each operators will be considering as our macro calls, and the corresponding operands of each operator will be considering as the arguments. Okay, so this is how are we going to implement the conversion of matrix entry into object code. So we are talking about code generation phase, and the input to the code generation phase is the optimized matrix form of our source program. And in this particular code generation phase, each matrix entry that is in the intermediate form will be converted into object code format. And how are we going to convert each matrix entry? It is already defined in a table called productions table. So by using code productions table, we will get object code for each operator, and we will be generating the object code for each matrix entry. Now we are moving on to the example. So far we were discussing about a particular example, that is cost assignment statement. So this is the matrix form of this particular assignment statement. So you can see here, so this is the, on the left side we have the matrix line number, and we have the generated matrix form code, and on the right side we have the generated object code. We'll see how are we going to generate this object code. So this is the table showing the matrix representation of the cost assignment statement. Along with that, what is the object code for each matrix entry. So you can see what is the first line in that particular table. The first line is minus start finish. That means the operation is start minus finish. So the operator is minus, that is subtraction, and the two operands are start and finish. So how can we do here? So the code production table already defining what is the object code for minus. What is that? L1 comma operand 1. So what is the first operand 1 here? Start. And what is the operand 2? Finish. So the first, when we are converting matrix line 1 into object code, the first line will be L1 comma start according to the production table. Okay, so 1 comma start. And what is the next one? S1 comma operand 2. That means subtract 1 comma operand 2. So the next will be S1 comma finish. That is the second operand. And what is the third line? ST1 comma M ampersand N. That means what? So it means what? It will be the store the result into the matrix entry. Okay, so this is the corresponding object code. So first line is start minus finish. So the operand, so operator is minus. So get the object code from the code production table, that is L1 comma ampersand operand 1, 1 comma S1 comma ampersand operand 2, ST1 comma M ampersand N. So in this place we have to place the real arguments. The real arguments are start and finish. So the real values are start and finish. So in the place of operand 1, substitute start. In the place of operand 2, you can substitute finish. So we have generated the object code for the first matrix line. Similarly, we can generate the object code for the next matrix line 2. What is the operation? Star rate M1. So first we have to understand what is the object code for the star operator. So you can see here, if the operator is star, the object code is L1 comma ampersand operand 1, then M comma 0 ampersand operand 2, and ST1 comma M ampersand N. Okay, so here what is happening? So in this particular statement, first the operand 1 will be loaded into the register number 1, and second instruction is M0 comma ampersand operand 2, which means operand 2 will be multiplied with the content of the register 0 plus 1. So make a note here, whenever we are using the machine multiply instruction, that is the first operand we will be representing as one number less than the target register. So what is the target register? Actually 1. So we will be specifying 1 minus 1, that is 0, one number less than the target register. So in the second state instruction M0 comma ampersand operand 2, it will multiply the content of the register 0 plus 1, that is 1, with the operand 2, and the result will be stored back to the 0 plus 1 register, that is the 1 register number 1. And ST1 comma M ampersand N means what? Always, sorry, ampersand N means what? It is the line number of the matrix entry being examined. Okay, so if we are examining the M1, that means ampersand N means 1, like that. So now you can generate the object code for the second line. So what happened in the first line? First we load the start variable data into the register 1, then we have subtracted the content of the register 1. We have subtracted the value of the variable finish from the register 1. After that, the subtraction result is available in 1, that will be stored into the matrix line M1 variable. Okay, then in the multiplication, what happened? So first we are taking the value of the rate variable, and that rate variable value will be stored into the register 1. Then M0 comma M1 means what? We have to multiply M1 value with the rate. Where is the value rate? Rate is in the register 1. But according to the format of the M instruction, we will be specifying target operand as one number less than the target register. So what is the target register? Actually 1, but we will be specifying 1 minus 1, 0 as the target register. So here multiply the M1 with the content of 0 plus 1 register, that is register 1, that is rate, and the result will be storing into the register 1. Okay, so that is the register 1 target register, but here we will be specifying one number less than the target register. And finally the result is available in the register 1 that will be stored into the variable M2. So this is the, similarly we will generating the object code for all the matrix entries according to the productions defined in the productions table. So this is how we are generating the code. For that, mainly we are using the database code production table. It will be defining what is the object code for each operator, and in that each object code we will be replacing with the actual variables or the operands, and we will get the real object code. Now we are going to see what are the databases we are using in the code generation phase. So the first one is matrix, then identifier table, literal table, code productions. So matrix, identifier table, literal table we have already seen in the previous phases. So matrix means it is the intermediate form of our source program. Identifier table is containing information about all the variables in the source program. Literal table is containing information about all the constants in the source program, and code productions table we have seen in the beginning of this today's video. So what is the format of code productions? It will be containing operator and the corresponding object code. These are the databases we are using in the code generation phase. Now we are moving on to the important topic which is happening in the code generation phase, that is machine dependent optimization. We have already discussed machine independent optimization in the code optimization phase. So here we are going to see machine dependent optimization. Machine dependent optimization means what? Here we are already having the machine code, right? So that machine code or the object code, we have the object code. That object code actually is all the instructions of the machine object code is machine dependent. Okay, so here if we are optimizing our object code, then it is called machine dependent, because those instructions are machine dependent. It will be using the real physical register number. It will be machine dependent. So here the optimization of machine object code is calling as machine dependent optimization, whereas optimization of intermediate code is calling as machine independent optimization, that we have already discussed in the machine code optimization phase. So we will see what is machine dependent optimization. So here in this phase it has reduced both memory space and the execution type of the object program, because by doing this we can reduce the memory space and execution time. So both these factors are machine dependent. I told you we have generated in the previous stage, we have generated our object code, right? Now we are going to optimize our object code. So how we are going to optimize the object code, that we are going to see here. Okay, so we have taken first a simple example, that is A equal to B plus C plus D. Okay, so we are already having the intermediate form, that is matrix form, that is represented in the first column, So the first column first is containing plus BC, so B plus C will be performed. Then that result is available in the variable M1, that M1 plus D will get the final result, and that result is stored in the variable M2, and M2 will be storing into the variable A. These are the three lines in the matrix form of this corresponding A equal to B plus C plus D statement. Now, according to the code generation, code production rules, what we will convert into object code. So, since plus BC is the first matrix line, what is the object code for plus BC? We have seen in the production table. So, it will be load the value of the variable B into the register 1. Then A 1 comma C means add content of the register 1 with the variable value C. So the result is available in the register 1. So store, that is st, the value of the register 1 into the variable M1. So this is the corresponding object code for plus BC. Similarly, we will be generating the object code for plus M1D and equal to A M2 according to our production rules. Okay. Then how can we optimize this code? That we have given in the third column. So third column is representing the optimized object code. Okay. So we can see here what is the first instruction? L1 comma B. That means load the value of B into the register 1. Then what is the second instruction? A1 comma C. That means add content of the register 1 with C and the result will be available in the register 1. Okay. But what is the third step? Storing the register 1 value into M. But I am not going to do that. Okay. So now B plus C result is available in the register 1, not going to store into the variable M1. Then what is the fourth? So I am not doing the third statement. What is the fourth statement? L1 comma M1, which means what? That content of the M1 variable, that is the content of the register 1, will be loading into register 1. So what I am going to do? I am going to skip the third and fourth statement. That means storing register 1 content into M1 and load M1 to again 1. Instead of that, I am not going to store the addition result to any of the register or variable. Here directly I am going to take the content of the register 1 and I am adding with the D. So what is the fifth instruction? A1 comma D. So I am skipping the third and fourth instruction. Directly I am taking the value from the addition result is available in the register 1. Directly take that and add with the D. So the final B plus C plus D is available now in the register 1. Again, that result I am not going to store to any intermediate variables M2. So I will skip the next two lines, that is ST1 comma M2, L1 comma M2. So the final result is available already in the register 1. Store that register 1 content into the variable A. So what happened? I have skipped the third, fourth, sixth, seventh line. So that means I have optimized my object code. This is one example for your machine dependent optimization. So we had a statement A equal to B plus C plus D. So here we have represented in the intermediate form, that is the matrix form, and for each matrix entry by considering the code production table data, we have generated the object code, and third column we have optimized that object code by skipping few lines. So that is the, so as a result we will be having only 4 instructions. Okay, instead of we are having, before we had 8 instruction, now we are having only 4 instructions. So we have optimized our object code. This is a small example for our machine dependent optimization. Now we are going to take our previous example, that is cost assignment statement. Okay, so here you can see the first column, that is the matrix column, is representing the intermediate form of our cost assignment statement. That is, what is the cost assignment statement? It has been represented in the matrix form. Okay, and we have optimized also. Okay, as a part of optimization, we have removed the fourth matrix line that we have already discussed in the matrix cost optimization phase. So the matrix column is done. This is the intermediate form. This is the input to our code generation phase. So what are we going to do first in the code generation? Read each entry from the matrix table. That is, read one line by line from the matrix and generate corresponding object code. How will we generate the object code? Based on the code production table. So we have seen code production table will define what is the object code for each operator. So here first one is the subtraction. So the corresponding object code will be L1 comma operand 1, S1 comma operand 2, ST1 comma target operand, M ampersand N. So here for the start minus finish, we will be generating the object code as load value of start into the register 1, then subtract the value of a finish from the content of the register 1. So now the subtraction result is available in register 1. That subtraction result will be storing into the M1. Okay, so by using the store instruction. So the first 3 lines in first try column is showing the object code for the M1, that is the first entry in the matrix. Then now we are going to, okay, similarly we will be having next rate star M1, that is rate star start minus finish is the second entry, rate star M1. So since it is a star multiplication, the object code will be L1 comma first operand. What is the first operand? Rate. Then second operand M, the target operand minus 1, that is target operand actually is 1 minus 1 0 comma your second operand. What is the second operand? M1. So it will be M1, then multiply the content of the register 1 with M1 and the result will be available in 0 plus 1 register, that is 1. And ST1 comma M2 means what? Store that value into M2. Okay, now so similarly we will be generating the object code for all the matrix entries from 1 to 8. Okay, so we have seen what is the generated object code in the first try column. Now we are going to optimize our code. So how can we optimize our code? So first we are storing start value into register 1, that is the first instruction, L1 comma start. There is no difference in that, no change in that. Next subtract 1 comma finish, that means subtract the value of finish from content of the register 1, that is start. So that we have done start minus finish and the result is now available in the register 1. Okay, but we are not going to store the register 1 value into M1. Instead of that, we are keeping that register 1 is representing as our M1. So we have to skip the line ST1 comma M1. Okay, so let it be there. Next, for the multiplication operation, what we are doing? Store the rate value into, we are taking another register, new register, that is register number 3. Okay, now multiply register number 3 content with register number 1. What is register number 1 content? Start minus finish value. And what is register number 2 plus 1? That is register number 3 is containing rate. So MR will instruction will perform rate star start minus finish. So start minus finish is available in register 1 and rate is available in 2 plus 1 register, that is register 3. So the result after rate star finish, the result is available in register number 3. Okay, so now register number 3 is representing your M2, but we are not going to store that into a variable, new variable M2. We are stopping there, so we are skipping ST1 comma M2. Similarly, we will be skipping those assigning into matrix lines. So we will be what is the result available in which all registers, we are keeping that registers itself. We are not storing into in what intermediate variables. Okay, so you can see now on the third column improved code, we have deleted we have optimized our code. Okay, so this is our example. This is how we have optimized the code of our cost assignment statement. Okay, so we have seen the machine dependent code optimization. So we were discussing about code generation. So by considering the code production table, it will generate the object code for each matrix entry, and we will be generating the optimized object code by using machine dependent optimization. Now we are entering into the last phase, that is the assembly phase. Assembly phase means what? This is the last phase. Okay, so the task of the assembly phase is actually depending upon the how much task is done by the code generation phase. Okay, so if I say in general, it involves generation of code, that is the machine code, and defining labels. So if we have used any labels or symbols in our program, we have to resolve, okay, all those symbolic references. So the basic task of the assembly phase is generate the machine code and resolve the symbolic references. Okay, so we have two conditions here. So it is based on how much task has been done in the code generation. if a lot of work has been done in the code generation, then the assembly phase has only two tasks. One is, if we have used any symbols, resolve those symbolic references. Then we know that after compilation we have to send some information to the loader. So format those information for the loader. So most of the part of the generation, if it has done in the code generation phase, then the assembly phase has need only to resolve the symbolic references and what all information we need to give to the loader, format those information. Then if code generation has simply generated the symbolic machine instructions, then there are more tasks to be done by the assembly phase. That is, it has to do the resolve symbolic, that is, it has to resolve the symbolic references. If we have used any labels, we have to resolve those labels and symbols. Then calculate the actual addresses. Then generate machine instruction. That means we have to represent the instructions in binary format. Then generate storage. That means the real storage locations we have to generate for the machine code instructions. Then convert literals. Literals we have to convert into the hexadecimal format, that is the machine readable format. Okay, so it will be, all the constants will be converted into appropriate format so that it can be executed. This is the last phase of our compiler design, that is the assembly phase. That's all about the phases of the compiler. So we have done with that. So thank you for listening.